everybody. Welcome to the call. I'm Heidi Duke, Certified Health Coach, and on the call with me, I have Jared Smithson, also a Certified Health Coach. And we're really excited to talk to you guys today about healthy habits for life and how to maintain your weight forever. And so we're going to share a couple stories here at the beginning, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty. I know a lot of you guys are a little bit scared or nervous to get into maintenance, and it's actually a really, really great, awesome place to be. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Jared, and he's going to tell his story.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. 7 years ago, I lost my last 25 pounds. I lost 25 pounds before I found Take Shape for Life, and it took me a lot longer and a lot of miserable time trying to figure out my nutrition and exercising to the point where I hated exercise. And that was it was kind of a loss of identity for me, because exercise is what I did for fun. All kinds of different sports, mountain biking, basketball, volleyball, and stuff. And I didn't love exercise for the sake of weight loss. And so my mother-in-law, she had found Take Shape for Life, introduced me. I lost my last 25 pounds in a month, and I've been maintaining. I hate the word maintain, because there hasn't been any maintenance about it. It's been an intentional mindset every single day for the last 7 years. Well, I can't say an intentional mindset for 7 years. It was an intentional mindset for several months while I was developing those habits of health. And then, but for like the last 6 years, probably, I haven't really had to think about it, because it's been a part of who I was, if that makes sense. So that's what I love helping people do in their own lives, is getting to that point where they've adopted the habits of health and it's kind of become who they are. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it throughout their presentation. But I love the part that I love most about long-term health is the healthy mind. Because our minds change shape just like our bodies do. It's called neuroplasticity, where we create these new brain waves and synapses, and you want your brain to take shape just like you want your body to take shape.
Love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And look at I just want to go back really quick. Look at the after picture, at how you can tell in his face. You can tell he's just so proud of himself and so confident, right? I love that. So Lindsay, are you on?
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you tell your story?
Sure. So I was kind of the person who I just kind of grew up with really unhealthy habits. We tried as best we could, and my sister, yay, hi Amy, by the way, she's on here so she knows we're unhealthy habits. And so we've just kind of, like, our whole family we've struggled. And so about a couple years ago, I found Take Shape for Life, and I've absolutely loved it. As you can see in this picture, we took it on this way on purpose. We tried to get the same shot and everything, but to go from the first one to the second one, it seriously has made a difference. Before, I was not very happy or healthy for that matter, and my habits were not, I knew they weren't right, and I just didn't know where to find them. I didn't know how to be healthy, really. And so once I found it, I'm like, oh, I loved how it wasn't just a quick fix. It was teaching you things for your whole life the rest of the way. And that was one of my favorite parts, was learning that. And I've just really loved it ever since. And then just this year, I decided to be a coach. It kind of took me a while to I'm still working on my last 25 pounds. So I understand the last 25 pound struggle. So I'm looking forward to finally getting that off and then getting into maintenance too. So
awesome. Love it. Love it. And look at how cute it is, how her head is even tilted to the same side. Like, it looks like you should be on like a commercial or something. You look great. I love it. I love it. All
that's
right.
what my mom said about the picture.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Amy. And then this is my story. I just realized that I am at my almost year mark. So the 16th of this month will be my year mark that I lost 40 pounds in 4.5 months after my baby boy. That's my little guy there. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what happened. So about 16 months ago, I was blessed with our third little boy, and super excited. But in that time, healthy options were not really an option for me. I really struggled making good choices, even though I am a health coach. That some healthier options weren't really for me. And the scale crept up and I got to about 50 pounds and over where I wanted to be. And luckily, after I had little Stinky Porter, I had the Nursing Mothers program and I was able to lose the 40 pounds. And I'm actually down my 50 pounds total, and I've just been able to maintain it since then. But this program, I have to say, before I started the Nursing Mothers program, I didn't really have a weight loss story. And I just really believed in the program. I believed in the healthy habits that we teach. And so, it was really cool to actually be able to use it for myself and experience my own weight loss journey. And I did the Nursing Mothers program and had a lot of success. So that's my story. So I'm going to turn the time over to Jared.
Okay, so one of the things that we start off when someone decides, hey, I want to become healthier, and you start the program, these are some of the questions and some of the things that we bring up. But think about your health goals, and I mentioned it in my story that I don't really think about maintenance. I think about always creating or reaching out for that next goal. Imagine yourself in a rocking chair. A rocking chair is what we call an oscillating pattern. So you go forward and you go backward. And oftentimes, when people look at the number on a scale, there's an underlying structure there that when they get there, the only place for them to go is backwards. Because a lot of times people are more afraid of success than they are of failure, because we kind of fail our way through life. We probably have a lot more failures than we do successes. You try and you fall off the horse, so to speak, and you get back up. And when you're learning how to walk, you fall a lot before you learn before you get stable and stuff. So don't worry about the stumbles and the falls and stuff like that. Just hop back up, dust yourself off. Don't necessarily look at the scale so much as your indicator of success. The best indicator of success are these other things. Focusing on becoming a healthier person. Am I eating clean? Am I moving my body? Am I trying to manage my stress? Am I talking to my health coach about the stresses in my life? Asking my health coach, hey, what can I do to better manage that stress? 7 years after losing my last 25 pounds, 50 overall, I'm still working on this sleep thing. It's very evasive. And so none of us are perfect. We're all struggling our way through life and stuff. And you're going to have areas of strength, and you're going to have areas of weakness. So just own those weaknesses. Those weaknesses can become strengths, but just own them. It's okay that you're weak in areas and stuff. That's part of life. If you're thinking that your life is going to result in a life of ease, you're on the wrong planet. But to ask yourself, one of the things that my wife Amber and I decided from the very beginning was who else can in my life can benefit from me making healthy choices. For us, right up front, it was our kids. We can start feeding them a healthy meal. And a lot of my clients will say, "Oh man, I'm so tired of cooking 2 different meals." Well, why are you cooking 2 different meals? Right? Don't you want your kids to be just as healthy as you? And the next question or next response I get from people is, "Oh, well, they're really picky." Well, kids aren't picky when they get really, really hungry. So it's only going to be a couple of days before they're so hungry that they're going to start eating the salmon and broccoli and stuff like that. So that's what we did with our kids. And 7 years later, our kids are like, "When are we having salmon again? When are we having this broccoli dish or this certain kind of salad or whatever?" So try to transform your whole family while you're transforming yourself. And those people around you that are getting healthy with you, they're going to strengthen you. They're going to make it easier for you to really focus on your why. And most of the time, our family is our why. We want to live a longer, healthier life. We want to be able to play with our kids and play with our grandkids and whatever area of life you're in right now, whatever space you're in. Focus on what it is that you really want, why you want health, because those things are going to be the things that motivate you long term. The scale, it's just not a long-term motivator. And most of us just get mad at the scale and call it a liar and stuff like that. So, and if you or they lay on their back on the floor and put the scale on top of their feet and stuff. So, so if you just follow the healthy habits, results will come. Don't worry about the speed or anything like that. Just 1 foot in front of the other, and always be moving forward. And remember this is one of my favorite quotes. If you're on the right path, it will always be uphill. So if you feel like you're coasting downhill or you're on a slippery slope, reach out to your coach again and look for the path that's moving uphill, because that's the path that's going to make you stronger.
Yeah, Jared, you're amazing. Are we all taking notes, guys? Holy moly. Love all those great tips on that one. So thinking about what your current habits are right now, whether you're in weight loss or you're actually on your maintenance goal and you've already gotten to your goal, thinking about what your healthy habits are now, right? So within the hour of waking up, you want to eat your first meal, eating every 2 to 3 hours a protein carb balance meal, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then making sure you're drinking 100 ounces of water. You know, that's like a huge one. And I know, like, for some of you, you're like, "Oh my gosh, how much longer do I have to do this? I'm going to the bathroom every 5 seconds. Honestly, you guys, it's forever. That's the greatest thing. And your body does get used to it. And it's something that I've been practicing for the last 3 years of being a coach. And you know what? Your body adjusts, and it's awesome. And, you know, ladies out there, it helps with your skin. It helps huge with digestion, your appetite. You know, so in the long run, it's just such a great habit to really, really get into, and really making sure we're eating and using, you know, getting our movement in and stuff too is a huge part of it. Other things, Jared, to mention?
This thing right here, 64 ounces. I drink at least 3 a day. I'm usually around 200 ounces a day. And guess what? It's okay to have to go to the bathroom. Like, it drove me crazy when I first started 7 years ago. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, going to the bathroom is such a hassle." And it's okay. Like, going to the bathroom because you're drinking so much water, it's healthy for you. And I will tell you this, I go to the bathroom a lot less now, drinking 200 rather than drinking the 100 I was when I first started on the 5 and 1 7 years ago. So your body, I promise you, your body will adapt and stuff, but going to the bathroom is not a bad thing. And a lot of people, it's a great place to have quiet time, like away from your kids and stuff. So it's kind of like my second office sometimes.
That's just for people that have children 8 and up. For people that have children younger, you can see their little fingers under the door trying to get in, or they're pounding on the door, Mom, Mom. I love it.
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Okay, so time matters. Like what you're learning while you're on program, these are the things, the reason that it's so effective long-term is you're learning the habits that you need to live for the rest of your life. And some of the research behind what we do is comes from David Jenkins at University of Toronto, who's really a pioneer in low glycemic eating. And the study that they did was very unique. They took a whole bunch of people, several hundred people, they split them up into 2 groups. Everybody, they ate the same exact foods, same number of calories. But one group, they ate 6 small meals, and the other group ate 3 larger meals. And the group that, and these people needed to lose weight. So, and this study was done over a 16-week period. And so the people who were eating the smaller meals, remember, same food, same calories, they lost 2.5 times more weight. They said that they were less hungry. They reduced their cravings. And their cholesterol and blood insulin were huge drops, 15% and 28%. And that's why we are so effective in helping people lose weight, is because it's not just about calories in, calories out. It's about controlling blood sugars and the insulin response in our body, because insulin is a hormone that tells your body how to utilize energy, primarily glucose in your body. And if you have too much sugar in your blood, too high blood sugar, the body can only use so much at a time, and everything else gets stored as our favorite friend. It's called fat. Okay, maybe it's not our favorite friend, but it doesn't get stored as sugar, all of it. Some of it does, which it's okay to have some of that glycogen in our muscles and stuff like that. Helps us have quick energy and be able to exercise and stuff. But in the long term, having uncontrolled blood sugar and insulin is really very problematic. It leads to certain cancers, heart disease, and insulin resistance, things like diabetes. And I was just on a Zoom earlier today listening to a cardiologist who was in cardiology for over 30 years. Some of the latest research, women who at the time of conception, if they are diabetic or pre-diabetic, close to diabetic levels, their child, their conceived child, 4 times higher likelihood of having autism if they're diabetic. So there's so much that's tied to how we eat, our blood sugar and insulin levels and stuff, that it's really important to control those.
Oh, that's really interesting. I love that. Thank you. So let's talk for just a minute about the 9-inch plate. So if you haven't seen this in Dr. A's book, this is a great example and a great visual. So think about your 9-inch plate, right? You may or may not have one. If you don't have one, don't feel like you have to go buy one. Just eat on the inside, right? You don't have to, go buy a perfectly 9-inch plate, right? You're going to eat on the inside of the plate, and you're going to divide it into 3s, okay? So half of it is your fruits and veggies, but here's the catch with that, okay? Your veggies are going to be more of the lower, moderate, or higher carb veggies, what you're eating right now with your lean and green meals. not the starchy veggies, okay? And then with your fruits, it's very minimal with your fruits. Not going super bananas with that. And then 25% is your protein, and then 25% is your starches. And that's where you can add in, like your starchy veggies. So, your edamame, your potatoes, things like that would be a great option for right there in starches, as well as you can obviously do rice and pasta and things like that. So just a couple things as far as this plate goes is being mindful of what you're putting into your body, because it's all about everything in moderation. Something that that is kind of interesting is when you go to a restaurant, think about the plate that they bring out to you. We all know that it's not 9 inches, right? So a healthy little tip that you can do is you can ask them for a doggy bag and put half of that meal in a doggy bag, save it for later, get 2 meals for the price of 1, right? And then that way you're not overdoing it and overstuffing yourself, because really you don't need to have the whole plate of whatever the 12-inch plate is or however big it is, right? And so those are just some little tips for you. And you could even draw this out and show your kids this. That's something that I've been kind of trying to teach my kids, is teaching them about that. So that might be something fun too for those of you that are on that have kids. Jared, any other ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I really encourage my clients to only have starches a few times a week. My family, we do not put starches on our plate, even though we're in maintenance and we're just controlling our healthy weight now. We do not eat starches every day. I can count. I'm not a huge pasta eater, so it's not a huge temptation for me. But make sure when you are eating those things, starches, especially like rices and pastas and stuff, that you're looking for whole grain pastas, brown rices, using things like quinoa rather than your white rices and stuff. So just be careful with your starches, because they're extremely high sugar. They turn to glucose very quickly, very high on the glycemic index. And also, just to reiterate what Heidi said, fruits are really high in sugar. So kind of look at Dr. A's glycemic charts and know what the best fruits are. And we can go on to, I think it's the next slide, and we can kind of look at some of those. Oh, no, it's the next one. But this segues into talking about glycemic levels in fruits and vegetables.
Do you want me to switch to that one, Jared, since you're talking about it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to that, and then we can come back to this.
Okay.
So this, Dr. Anderson always says, stay green and stay lean. So it's not that the others, that the orange and reds are bad. It's just that they're higher glycemic. They convert to glucose, or essentially pure sugar, faster in your bloodstream, and they're going to spike your blood sugar and insulin levels. One thing I always like to point out is look at your carrots on the left-hand side. In the very low, right there at the bottom, it says carrots raw, 30 on the glycemic chart. If you look at the bottom, carrots cooked are an 80. So when you cook, especially when you overcook vegetables, or also on the flip side, if you blend, if you drink a lot of smoothies, you're changing the molecular structure of that fruit or vegetable. So most of them, you're going to raise the glycemic level of that fruit or vegetable by overcooking them or blending them all the time. So make sure you're getting a good variety of raw versus lightly steamed or blended fruits and vegetables. But try to pick most of your fruits and vegetables from those green categories and fewer from the orange and red categories.
Love that. That's so interesting, isn't it, about the carrots? I used to grow up with cooked carrots all the time. And I'm sure if my mom knew that, she would have been like, oh no.
Yeah, you throw the carrots and the potatoes in with the roast, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You just raise the sugar level of both the potatoes and the carrots.
I know. I know. It's crazy to be educated, right? It's huge. So, what's after weight loss, right? This is something I talked about a little bit about the importance of eating every 2 to 3 hours, the 6 meals a day, right? So look at either side. You have your protein options, ideas, and your carb ideas, right? So what you're going to do, Jared gives the great example, when you're in elementary school, when you have to like pick which one, there's really no wrong answer. You can really pick whichever one you want. One of my very favorites, I actually have a couple on here that I love, always go to, is the Greek yogurt, and I always do a piece of fruit with it. That's like one of my all-time favorites. Then I love, as some of you might have seen, I'm a huge peanut butter person, but I don't use regular peanut butter. I actually use PB2 or PB Fit. They're powdered peanut butter. They're incredible, and they have tons of protein, a lot lower fat and stuff. So I really love that with some celery sticks, and that's one of my love things that I enjoy having. And then obviously, for me, the last year, having the portion-controlled meal replacements, and we actually have 13 brand new fueling meals through our Optavia premium line that you can look at. If you haven't already, they're so good. I have loved all of them. One of my favorites is the herb biscuit one. I love that one, and I put it with a little bit of oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. 2 egg whites, and it's so good, so good. So, feel like you can, ask your coach for ideas or suggestions. They have a ton of them. And then, using the meal replacements, I love them. Just throw them in my purse. Like today, I had to go teach a fitness class, and so I was on my way out the door running from one thing to another. I had my one of my healthy meal replacements in my purse, and I just grabbed it and felt confident in what I was eating, and I wasn't going through the drive-through and fueling my body with things that aren't good options. So those are definitely something that I would strongly suggest having on hand. And I use a 3-and-3 plan. I know Jared does too, and just having those on hand just in case, because we don't all have time to plan 6 small meals a day. So that's a great option to have on hand for future reference. And then anything else you wanted to add, Jared?
Nope, I just totally believe in everything you just said. I use the 3-and-3 program because it's simple, and I use meal replacements. I love the new line because they have the probiotics and the immune booster in them in each meal, so you don't have to take a probiotic or digestive enzyme on the side. But you'll never find food in this world that is as healthy as our fuelings. That's not to say that fruits and vegetables and lean protein aren't healthy, but all in one meal, it's really hard to perfectly balance a meal. So I love having the fuelings available so that just at a moment's notice, I can just grab it and go, or get on a call with a client, and they don't have to know that I'm chewing on a bar or drinking a shake or something like that. And they don't care. They're like, oh, I can hear you chewing on your bar.
That's so true. I love it. Great insight. All right. So let's talk. Oh, Jared, did you want to talk about this one?
No, go for it.
Okay. You can add your 2 cents because you always have something awesome to add. So thinking about your long-term success, right? So making sure that you're checking in with your mentor coach at least once a month. If you're struggling, reach out to them, let them know what you need, what they can do to help you. And if you're rocking it, just say, you know what, I'm doing awesome. Maybe you can give me some other ideas as far as healthy lean greens or something for my family, whatever it is, right? So just making sure you're checking in, staying connected. And even if you don't answer the phone, maybe just shoot them a text and let them know, hey, I'm alive and I'm kicking butt still. Because you know, we don't know how you're doing if we're not talking to you once a week. And so we just, as coaches, we want to make sure you're doing okay. We care about you and we love you and we want you to be successful in the long run. And this is a way that you can stay successful. And then obviously, you know, if you treat this as a diet, it will be a diet, right? You're going to gain the weight back plus more. So really thinking about, okay, this is a lifestyle change. This is what I want long term, and remembering that mind shift. Jared, maybe in a minute you can kind of talk about the two-part brain here in a minute, just for a second. And then utilizing Dr. A's Habits of Health book, right, as a reference. I have it in my office, and I use it and refer to it almost weekly, if not daily. So just look through it, use the book. That's why you have it. You know, follow along with your health coach on the weekly healthy habit email that they send out, or, you know, the Wednesday night support call. Get on those calls and really engage yourself. If you're struggling, this is a great opportunity to really get gung-ho again. And help you out long term as well as right now. And then obviously, you know, considering about stepping your health up to the next level and paying it forward. You know, 3 years ago, it really was the most amazing decision that I made. A lot of you may or may not know, but we were really struggling financially. We had our babies, we had our twins. We had gone from 2 incomes to 1. And honestly, there were months I don't even know how we paid our bills. And, you know, the opportunity came that I could become a health coach, and I saved my money for about 3 months to be able to become a health coach and to try the program so that I could understand what clients were going through. And it was one of the most it's been one of the most amazing opportunities and amazing gift that one of my mentor coaches was willing to tell me about. And today, I now am able to have a wonderful home, and we're able to provide things for our children I never would have dreamed of. So, you know, it's definitely one of those things that's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity to stay accountable yourself. And Jared always says this, I love it. He always says, who learns more, the teacher or the student? And, you know, really as a health coach, it's one of those things that you're in check every day because you're talking the talk, walking the walk every day. So anything else that you wanted to add, Jared?
Just to reemphasize what you said about checking in. It's so important to have people around you that know what your goals are, because those are going to be the people when you go out to eat with them, or you see them in a social situation or whatever. They're going to ask you, "Hey, how are you doing?" It gives them something to talk to you about more than just small talk. It helps them understand you as a person. We're all going to have struggles with the things that we really want to accomplish. Human nature is that when we're struggling with something, we withdraw. And so when you feel yourself withdraw from your support around you, when Heidi talked about the two-part brain, we have 2 parts of our brain, the limbic part of our brain and the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is what helps us make conscious decisions. The limbic part of our brain, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, the amygdala is the fight or flight center of our brain. That human nature is for us to withdraw and try to go into survival mode. And if you're being chased by a bear, you're either going to get small, get in the fetal position, and try to stave off an attack, or you're going to run, right? And you don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the person you're with, right? So, so just always hang out with a slow person that's not going to outrun the bear. But just know that if you're struggling with something, that you can reach out to your coach. Your coach is not there to berate you or to talk poorly about your struggles or anything like that. We're there to support you, to urge you on, to give you some, remind you of some tools, whatever, to give you the capacity to reach out and create what you intentionally want in your life. So, for my wife and me, other than the decision to marry my wife and have 3 beautiful kids and stuff, starting this program a little over 7 years ago was the second most important decision I've ever made in my life. The first most important was choosing to become a health coach, because it completely changed the way that I thought about this program. It helped me create more of a healthy mind and to judge myself in a different way. I'm not so harsh on myself as I used to be. And I'm definitely not as hard on others as I used to be. I'm a lot more merciful. Thank goodness. I have a lot more friends now because I'm not like, oh man, you're just weak. It's not weakness. It's just well, it is weakness. All of us have weaknesses though. I had all kinds of weaknesses that other people could have been like, you're a horrible person because of that weakness. And people showed me mercy on this journey because I've been able to become more by helping more people around me. So I would really encourage you to take that step. Whoever invited you onto this call, talk to them more about what health coaching looks like. You don't have to coach 100 people. You can coach a couple of people. Some people want to coach a lot of people. For my wife and me, we started out just wanting to coach some of our friends and family and stuff. And then it turned in one of those big snowballs that gets bigger and bigger and goes down a hill, and it becomes a big mess that you can't clean up. And I love the mess that we've created because it's created thousands of friendships and people that inspire us, probably far more than we inspire them. So take that step if it's something that is of interest, or at least ask for more information, because helping other people is part of our program, whether you're a coach or not.
Love that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so at this time, I want to just take just a couple seconds to it. Does anybody, or a couple minutes, does anybody have any questions about what we discussed, or comments or things that maybe you're in maintenance now that have been really helpful that could be beneficial for some of the people on tonight? And the crickets start. Oh, all right. Well, I appreciate all of you being on tonight. Thank you so much for hopping on and taking the time. And Jared, thank you for hopping on and sharing. And all of you have a wonderful night. And if you have any questions or concerns about anything, please reach out to your health coach and talk with them. Thanks again.